You walk into a store in 2026 ready to finally buy the TV. The wall lights up in front of you, and every single set looks incredible. Here's the dirty secret nobody tells you. That is not a showroom. It is a trap, and the most expensive mistakes you can make are the ones that look like the smart move while you are standing there. I have watched people spend an extra $500 in 10 minutes and walk out proud of it. So before you spend a cent, these are the biggest TV buying mistakes of 2026, counting down to the #1 mistake that quietly costs people the most money of all. None of this is about being cheap. It is about not being the person who overpays for the wrong thing and only finds out 2 years later. A television is a 5 to 10 year decision, and getting it wrong is hundreds of dollars and a living room you are quietly annoyed at. No brand pays me, and #1 is the one almost everybody gets wrong, including people who think they did their homework. Mistake number 10, buying the television you saw in the store based on how it looked in the store. That showroom is engineered to lie to you. The sets are running in what the industry literally calls torch mode, cranked to maximum brightness and saturation to survive the punishing overhead lights, with the colors pushed so hard they would give you a headache at home. On top of that, the store feeds them a perfect high bitrate demo reel of drone shots and coral reefs that no normal cable channel or streaming app will ever match. So the TV that pops the hardest under those lights is often just the one shouting the loudest, not the one with the best picture. The fix is simple. Never judge a TV by the showroom floor. Judge it by the independent review of that exact model, watched in a normal room on normal content. The wall is a sales pitch, not a test. Quick one before we keep going, because I am genuinely curious and the answers always surprise me. What is the shortest a TV has ever lasted you before it died or started acting up? Drop the brand and the number of years below. And if you want to make sure the next one lasts, hit like. It helps me get this in front of more people before they buy the wrong one. Mistake number 9, chasing the biggest number on the box instead of the technology behind the panel. The box screams 8K, or a 4-digit made-up clarity index, and your eye goes straight to the biggest number. But resolution is the least important spec in the room at normal seating distance, and there is almost no real 8K content to watch anyway. What actually decides whether a picture looks stunning or flat is the panel technology. Whether it has real local dimming, whether it is mini LED or OLED, how bright it can actually get, and how well it handles the high contrast content everything is made in now. A great 4K mini LED will bury a cheap 8K set every day of the week, because 8,000 pixels of a dim, gray, edge-lit picture is still a dim, gray picture. The specs that actually matter almost never make the front of the box. Local dimming zones, real brightness measured in nits, and whether it properly supports the modern high dynamic range formats, that is the real spec sheet, and the store hides it because it does not sell as easily as one giant number. The fix: ignore the resolution war entirely. Ask 2 questions instead. Does it have real local dimming? And how bright does it actually get? Those 2 answers predict the picture better than every other number combined. The headline figure on the box is marketing. The quiet specs on the back are the truth. Mistake number 8, getting the size wrong in either direction. Most people buy too small, get it home, and feel underwhelmed within a week. Because a TV that looked huge in a warehouse the size of an aircraft hangar looks modest on your living room wall. But a few overcorrect. Buy an 85-inch monster for a room where the couch is 8 feet away, and end up swinging their head to follow the action like they are watching tennis from the front row. Both are the same mistake: guessing instead of measuring. The fix takes 30 seconds. Measure the distance from where you sit to where the TV goes, in feet. For a normal 4K set, that distance in feet times roughly 15 is a sensible screen size in inches. 8 feet away comfortably wants a 65, maybe a 75. And do the same check for the stand or the wall, because the other half of this mistake is buying a set that does not physically fit, or a stand narrower than the TV's own feet, and discovering it in the living room with the box already torn open. If you are wall mounting, Check the mounting hole pattern on the back matches your bracket before you buy, not after. Returning a 75-inch television is a two-person job and a bad afternoon. Measure the distance, measure the space, and measure the stand, all before you fall in love with a number on a shelf. Mistake number 7, and this one ties straight to my reliability video. Buying purely on the lowest price, from the cheapest brand on the shelf. There is always a no-name set for a couple $100s that looks like an unbelievable deal. The reason it is that cheap is that everything you cannot see was cut to hit that price. A dim, edge-lit panel, weak processing, and quality control that shows up as dead pixels, uneven backlighting, and inputs that lag by year 2. The reliability data is brutal on the bottom of the market. And here is the trap that seals it. On a $400 television, any real failure is a write-off, because the repair costs more than the set. So the cheap TV is not the cheap option if you have to replace it in 3 years. And the damage is not only the day it dies, it is the 2 years before that, when the thing is technically working, but the smart menus hesitate. The apps take a breath before they open, and the picture smears on anything moving fast. For an older viewer especially, that slow, laggy set turns something that should be relaxing into a small nightly frustration, until watching your own television quietly starts to feel like work. You do not notice it happening. You just find yourself using it less. The fix is to buy the cheapest set from a brand with a decent reliability record, not the cheapest set on the shelf. Those are almost never the same television, and the gap between them is not the price on the tag. It is the next 5 years of your evenings. And if this list is already saving you from a bad buy, do me one thing: hit like. You dodge an expensive mistake, I get a like. Then subscribe before number 4, because that one is the single most expensive mistake in the entire buying process, and almost nobody sees it coming. Mistake number 6, skipping the warranty on the TV that needs it and paying for it on the TV that does not. People get this exactly backwards. They buy a cheap, risky brand television and waive off the protection plan to save $30. Then they buy a rock-solid premium set and let the salesman talk them into a $100 plan they will never use. Match the insurance to the odds instead. On a budget or lower reliability brand, where the failure rate is real and a repair is a write-off, a cheap 3-year plan is some of the smartest money you will spend. And understand why it is a write-off. Because it makes the whole decision obvious. The 3 things that actually fail on a television are the backlight, the power board, and the panel itself. And on a cheap set, the quote to repair any one of them lands somewhere near what you paid for the whole TV, so nobody ever fixes them. They just buy again. That is the trap the protection plan exists to close. On a top-tier reliable brand, though, skip the plan. You are paying for a risk that probably will not happen, and you would be insuring the one set least likely to need it, and know where to buy the coverage when you do want it. A warehouse club like Costco often bundles years of protection in for free or nearly free, where an electronics store charges you a real premium for the exact same thing. Cheap, risky TV? Buy the plan. Expensive, reliable TV? Keep your cash. Mistake number 5. Buying a genuine brand name TV from a seller you have never heard of, because it was $100 cheaper. This is the one that catches careful people, the bargain hunters, the ones who think they are being smart. You find the exact model you want on a big online marketplace, and one listing is $100 under everyone else. The television is 100% real, But some major brands only honor their warranty when the set was bought from the brand directly or from an authorized reseller. Buy that same genuine TV from a random third-party seller, and the manufacturer can simply refuse to fix it when it breaks in month 14. And you find out too late when they ask the one question you cannot answer. Who did you actually buy it from? That cheaper listing was never a deal. The $100 you saved was the bait, and the missing warranty was the price tag you could not see. The fix. Before you click on any marketplace, find the line that says who it ships from and who it is sold by. If it is a seller you do not recognize, close the tab, and learn the 3 red flags that give these listings away. A price that is suspiciously below every other seller by about the same $100. A seller name that is a random string of letters rather than a real store. And shipping that comes from a third party instead of the retailer itself. Any one of those, and you slow down. The safest move of all is boring but bulletproof. Buy big-ticket electronics from the brand's own site or a major named retailer, even if it costs a little more, because the warranty you are quietly buying with it is worth far more than the $100 the sketchy listing dangles. On a decade-long purchase, the cheapest price and the safest price are rarely the same price, and the gap between them is exactly the coverage you will wish you had in month 14. Mistake number 4, the one I told you to subscribe for, the single most expensive mistake in the process: paying the badge tax and mistaking a higher price for a better picture. This is where the real money leaks out, hundreds of dollars at a time. There are 2 versions. The first is the design tax, the lifestyle televisions built to look like framed art on your wall that charge you $1,000 extra for a matte finish and a picture frame mode, while a normal set at half the price has a visibly better picture than 99% of the time you are actually watching something. You are buying furniture that happens to be a TV. The second is the badge tax, the premium brand that genuinely makes an excellent television, but charges hundreds more than an equally reliable set with the same kind of panel sitting 3 feet away, for a picture difference most people will never see in a normal bright living room. Reliable does not have to mean expensive, and expensive does not automatically mean better. The fix is a discipline. Decide the picture and the size you actually need first. Find the best value set that delivers it, and then refuse to pay extra for a badge or a design gimmick unless you have looked at both side by side and genuinely see the difference with your own eyes. Most people never look. They just assume the dearer one is better, and the industry banks on exactly that assumption. Here is the test that cuts through all of it, and you can run it in the store in 60 seconds. Stand the 2 sets side by side, the premium one and the value one, and instead of walking up close where every TV looks flawless, step back to about the distance your couch actually is, 8-10 feet. Then look at the whole picture, not the corners. 9 times out of 10, from your real seating distance on real content, the gap that justified hundreds of extra dollars simply disappears. The expenses set was engineered to win the up-close, showroom lights, nose against the glass comparison that no human being ever does at home. Your living room is the honest test, and the honest test is unkind to the badge tax. If you genuinely see the difference from 10 feet, buy it and enjoy it with a clear conscience. If you have to lean in to find it, you just found $400. So be honest with me in the comments. Have you ever paid extra for a premium TV and, hand on heart, Could you actually see the difference? Yes or no? I will read these because the honest answers matter more than any spec sheet. Mistake number 3, buying last year's model thinking it is this year's because the name looks almost identical. The model codes are designed to blur together on purpose. One letter or number is the difference between the current set and the one from 2 years ago, and a store will happily sell you the old one at a not quite clearance price, while the display says something newer. Sometimes last year's model is a genuinely smart buy at a real discount, because the picture barely changed year to year and you are getting nearly the same set for less. But sometimes the older model is quietly worse, dimmer, missing a feature, or built on a cheaper panel, and it is being sold at a price that only looks like a deal next to this year's inflated sticker. You only know which of those two situations you are in if you know exactly which model you are holding. And the codes are deliberately close, one letter apart, so the leftover stock does not look like leftover stock. The fix? Before you buy, search the exact full model code with the year and confirm 2 things: whether it is the current generation and whether that price is a real discount or just old stock at yesterday's number. 30 seconds of typing tells you whether you are getting a smart deal or getting the leftovers dressed up as one. Mistake number 2, buying the wrong panel for your actual room. People fall in love with a picture in a dark review video and buy a television that is completely wrong for the room they will actually watch it in. The classic version is buying a premium OLED for a bright living room with big windows and the afternoon sun pouring in. OLED has the most gorgeous picture in the world in a dark room, but it is dimmer than a good mini LED. So in a sunlit space, you have overpaid for a picture the daylight is washing out. The reverse is buying a cheap, dim, edge-lit set for a dark home theater room, where its flat black levels and glowing gray shadows ruin every night scene. The fix? Pick the panel for your light, not for the review. Bright room with lots of windows? Buy the brightest good mini LED you can, and look for an anti-glare or matte screen while you are at it, because a mirror finish panel in a sunny room means you spend half the day watching your own reflection instead of the show. Dark room where you control the light? That is where OLED earns its money, and its perfect blacks finally have something to show off against. Before you decide, do one honest thing. Look at where the windows are in the room the TV will actually live in, and picture the afternoon sun hitting that wall. That 5-second look tells you more about which panel to buy than any review filmed in a blacked-out studio ever will. The best television is not the one that won the review. It is the one that is right for the room it lives in. Which brings us to mistake number 1, the most expensive mistake of all, and the one almost everybody makes without ever realizing it: rushing. Every mistake on this list, all 9 of them, is really a symptom of this one. Buying on the showroom floor, chasing the big number, overpaying for the badge, getting the size wrong. All of it happens because someone walked in wanting to walk out with a TV today, and let the urgency make the decision instead of the facts. The industry is built around that urgency, the one-day sale that mysteriously runs every week, the floor staff nudging you toward the set with the fattest margin, the fear that if you do not grab it now, the price jumps back up. It almost never does. Prices on televisions trend down toward sale events, not up, so the patient buyer almost always wins. So here is the fix, and it is the single most powerful habit in this entire video. Before you buy any television, do 3 30-second things. First, write down the exact model and search it with the words review and predicted reliability, and read what real owners and independent testers actually found. Second, Check the price history on that exact model, so you know whether today's price is genuinely good or just today's number. Third, sleep on it one night. That is it. 9 times out of 10, one night of not rushing saves you from the wrong panel, the wrong size, the badge tax, or the lemon brand. Because the pressure that was pushing you toward the expensive mistake is gone by morning, and only the facts are left. The store wants a decision in 10 minutes. Your money wants a decision in 1 day. Give it the day. So, fast. The mistakes to never make again. Do not trust the showroom floor. Do not chase the resolution number. Measure your room before you pick a size. Do not buy the cheapest brand. Buy the cheapest, reliable one. Match the warranty to the risk. Never buy a real TV from a seller you cannot name. Refuse the badge tax unless you can see the difference yourself. Check the model year. Buy the panel that fits your light. And above everything, do not rush. Get those right, and you will not just save hundreds of dollars. You will spend the next decade genuinely happy with the screen on your wall, instead of quietly wishing you had waited one more day. And if this just saved you from even one of these, that is your cue to hit like before you go. It tells the algorithm to push this in front of the next person about to walk into that showroom and make mistake number 1. It costs you nothing, and it is the whole way this channel grows. Next on the channel, the best televisions to buy before the World Cup final. The sets that actually make a packed living room of people gasp, at every budget, without making a single mistake on this list.